Hello, friends. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I am your Gen Z and Millennial expert. Welcome. Today's date is March 8th. Again, it's March 8th in 2021. There's significant about today, and I hope most of you know. If not, it's not too late to show your appreciation to any of the important women in your life or those that you know of from work. Mention today is National Women's Day. It's a very important day because the women in our lives and in the career, they do so much for the family, for the workplace, and they are an integral part of everything we do. So if you have a chance to wish the important woman in your life, your career, happy National Women's Day, please do, because it is a very important day. As I mentioned, today is significant not only for that, but it's significant about what we're going to talk about today. As I alluded to last Thursday, before our weekend, we were going to talk about transformational leadership in particular. First of all, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed spending time with the family, friends, whatever you may have done. Hopefully you had a chance to just relax and enjoy the weather, the outdoors, or if the weather's not great where you're at, maybe you had some home projects or something that was entertaining to you. So hopefully you were able to enjoy the time you did have. So one of the things I want to talk about is, what is leadership really? Think for a second. In your life, what does leadership mean to you? So what is a leader? It's someone who is in a formal position of power, or is it somebody that's ranked above you on the organizational chart? Or is it the person with the corner office and the higher salary? Well, I beg to differ that it is none of those. That was the traditional perception of how important it was to recognize anybody who was a leader. But the reality is now in 2021, in the 21st century, anybody can be a leader. And anybody can be a leader. That means you can be a leader, no matter what position you're in. Fundamentally, a leader is somebody who influences or guides other people through their actions and behaviors. That might mean someone who's the designated head of a department, but make no mistake, having that seniority isn't a prerequisite to being a leader. Even if you're not managing a team on a daily basis, you still might have to step into a leadership role from time to time. Those are opportunities for you to fulfill a leadership role and be looked to as an example. Remember, there are always moments when your own leadership qualities and style will bubble to the surface. So it's important to also understand your leadership style. Are you an autocratic leader, transactional leader? Remember, transactional leader is basically, if you do something for me, I do something for you. It could be a lot of sales contests. A lot of sales in general are transactional when it comes to the rewards that they get. Transformational leadership, again, this is a transformation leadership seeks change. Get it? Transform. They transform the business or groups in which they lead by inspiring their employees to innovate. These leaders also make improvements and find better ways to improve how to get things done. And as a result, they empower and inspire other people to own their work and help with suggestions or observations or streamline or upgraded. Think of this. If you're a transformational leader, you probably have employees that feel very free and very confident to come to you with ideas on how to improve the business because they have tons of autonomy, but there's plenty of room to innovate and think outside the box. So, what are some of the pros of transformational leaderships? Well, they're able to establish a high level of trust with employees and rally them around a shared vision or end goal. But there are some environments that are not conducive to being a transformational leader if it means where you have to make sure that the individual is becoming trained and really understanding the business. Because some people, when they start with a company, they have to be given a bunch of tools, they have to be given direction on how to run the business and run the procedures or whatever the case is. If it's on an industrial line, production line, they need to know exactly what they're doing. You can't just say, hey, our main goal is to do this. Well, that's great, but they need to be able to get to that point before they get there. Now, think about, you might be a transformational leader if you look at every single existing process with a discerning eye and a strong sense that it could be better. You could burst with pride whenever you see a team member achieve something that was previously thought to be impossible. And you're always encouraging others to get outside their comfort zones and push their own limits. Those are 3 advantages for if you think you might be a transformational leader. Now, there's also servant leadership where you're looking to try to appease everybody and you're looking to serve first and lead second. Another one is democratic leadership, which is also known as participative leadership. And this is the category run groups and projects. So these are leaders that are technically higher on the org chart. They emphasize working together and actively involve their team's decision-making process. There's autocratic leadership, which is the opposite side of the spectrum. Basically, it's my way or the highway approach. Sometimes this is good if you've got a team that's floundering and they need some great sense of direction and they need it right away. Often, decisions are made often quickly and strategically, and teams are kept on track as a result. So sometimes those are important. Bureaucratic leadership. Again, this is leadership goes by the book. It's basically you're checking off the boxes. Bureaucratic, you might have heard the saying bureaucratic tape. This is a lot of what governments, or at least they did function a lot like this. And that's what they call the bureaucratic red tape. And one of the most least effective leadership styles that I would not recommend to use very often is the laissez-faire leadership. And this basically means it's hands-off leadership approach. I don't even know how you can put hands-off and leadership in the same sentence, but that is one way. And basically, one of the pros of this is the level of trust and independence is empowering the teams that are creative and self-motivated. But it's not a leadership style that is going to be successful. So those are just some of the leadership aspects that you could maybe determine that you would be a best fit for you. But I'm guessing most of the individuals on this podcast are more reflective of the transformational leadership style. The transformational leadership style provides you the ability to inspire, to be creative, be transformational. As I've always mentioned, I can speak from example, what I've done, and my goal is to always be inspirational and try not to be one of those individuals that micromanages. Some people may say I'm a micromanager. I don't believe I am. And if I do, it may be small pots of it where it may be short-lived. But I try to be able to let individuals run their groups, run their divisions, but at the same time understand that you have the right to be innovative, creative, and I want to make sure that they know that they can go for any goal and be successful. And so a big part of transformational leadership is sharing a vision, being visionary. I mentioned before that I currently run two different divisions, and my goal is currently we're more of a regional division, and my ultimate goal is the vision. I want to be national. I want to make sure that our services are not only in Southern California. I am looking for Northern California, expanding into the Western region, and eventually expand across the United States. That is the ultimate vision. And sometimes you have to think big to be big. And one of the things I also want to mention is, and I found this just even in today in seeing people work and in reflecting on my own life as a transformational leader, never let the moment be bigger than you. And I wish I knew that 20 years ago, because what that means is don't get overwhelmed by the moment. Take control of the moment. Decide strategically how you're going to get where you need to go. Sometimes it's just simple as asking for help or trying to find people that can help you, partnering up with you, or realign the division to where you can get more hands on deck to help you with the situation. Key aspect in our life, if we let the moment run us, the moment will run you to the ground. That's why it's so important in leadership, or being, if you're just an employee and you're not a particular leader, whatever it may be, just keep in mind that don't let the moment be bigger than you. Let that reflect. Don't let the moment be bigger than you. You may be scared of speaking in front of people or doing something that seems like it's above your pay grade. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings. We all have the opportunity to step to the next level. And if you're a transformational leader or a follower or whatever it may be, if you have that big grand vision and you have that strategic plan that's going to allow you to expand your tools, your ability to be successful, don't let those circumstances or barriers get in the way of your overall success. Because transformational leadership will help you, will inspire you, will provide you creativity, will provide you the ability to be innovative in your daily practices. But anytime you let the situation take control of you, unfortunately, that is when teams, if it's sports teams or corporate teams or division teams, whatever it may be, it means that you are now operating at a disadvantage. And the only disadvantage that you have is yourself. And what I mean by that is you limit your opportunities by how you reflect on the situation. And that is why I go back to saying, don't let the moment be bigger than you. Challenge the moment, grab the moment. You may have heard the old saying, seize the moment, because sometimes that moment that you have a chance to seize may be the only opportunity that you have to make it big, to make it to the next level. So when you're put in that position where it's make or break or fight or flight, that's when the ability to transform yourself. Remember, we're all leaders. We're leaders of ourselves. So just because we may not be leading a team at that moment, we may not be leading a division, we may not be CEO or whatever it may be, or COO, but we have the ability to seize the moment in time. And when you become overwhelmed, that's when you need to step out, take a step back, and reflect on the situation and go, okay, I know I'm stressed, I know I'm overwhelmed, but how can I take care of the situation and come out on top? And that is where, as a leader, if you're a visionary, you're inspiring, you're half glass, half full type of individual in your career, in your personal life, that is going to help you when you get into those sticky situations where you just don't know what to do and you're just in a doldrum, that'll get you out of there, because the positive thinking, the steps forward, the transformational reflection that you have in that moment, and if you get to the point where it's make or break, you, me, we have the opportunity to make the best out of that situation. And if we fail, it's okay. As long as we had the opportunity to reflect and turn it upside down and shake it out and see what were the best results that I could have ended up with. And that is the best way to determine if you can beat or get out of a situation that is not something where you want to be in. So today we talked about the different about the different leadership types that there are, from autocratic to democratic to participative to laissez-faire, transformational leadership, transactional leadership. Those are just a few of the leadership styles. And keep in mind that almost all of the 8 predominant leadership styles can all be used at one time or another. You're not going to be a transformational leader all the time. Sometimes there's that need to be authoritative, autocratic, democratic, participative, transactional. Those are all leadership styles that do come into play when the time. Sometimes as a leader, like today, for instance, there was a time where I had to take control of something. Why? Because I see it's going down a path that's probably not going to be great. And that's when you have to go, okay, here's the game plan. This is how we're going to move forward to help the team. And this is going to help everybody involved. And it's also going to be a learning period. So for everybody. So sometimes it's okay to take the reins and just go, okay, let's do this. This should help get things back on track. But there's also times where you want to let your team be successful. Let them work their way through it. And so there's different leadership types for different aspects within your business. So again, I hope everybody had a great weekend. You're starting your week well. You had a chance to learn more about transformational leadership, leadership styles, and how you can help yourself, help your organization continue to be successful. So please share the podcast with your friends, family, coworkers. Save, like, subscribe, so you can get the next content, which will be tomorrow. I am excited about talking to you again, as we will introduce another great topic that's going to be helpful for millennials and Gen Z and those that lead them. So if it's in the morning, afternoon, or night, take care, be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.